All right, so the guy behind me is not going to be happy about this. The 49ers projected to win the most games in the NFC in the 2025 season. The guy who won't be happy is the Troll. That's the oldest mill in Europe. The Troll, I don't think he's the oldest one. They call him Vodnik in Czech. He's like a water troll. He's typically found in spots like this. FTN Fantasy, that's run by Aaron Schatz, who used to be at Football Outsiders. He's so good with the numbers. He's put out his almanac for the 2025 season, projects the 49ers to win 11.2 games, the most in the NFC, despite the fact that they must replace 10,000 total snaps between offense, defense, and special teams, 40% of their defensive snaps. FTN Fantasy and the Football Almanac, which you should go check out, believes that the 49ers are going to be A-OK with their projection in 2025. I'm going to go through some of the numbers. We're also going to go through some of the awesome food that we've had in Prague on our last day here before we fly out to the next spot. It's a busy day in Prague. We're on an island right now near a little food and beer festival. This is good. Place is popping off today. The reason for the optimism is rooted in the fact that the 49ers were tremendously unlucky in 2024. They had 141.2 adjusted games lost due to injury, which was the highest number in the NFL. Back in 2020, the 49ers had even more, 160 adjusted games lost, and they also finished with only 6 wins in that 2020 season. So they've been snake bit really, really bad by injuries twice over the course of the past half decade. And Aaron Schatz and the guys over at FTN think that it's very, very unlikely that that happens again. On top of that, despite the fact that the 49ers have lost those 10,000 total snaps, which is a staggering number, which will undoubtedly create some complications when it comes to replacing productivity, San Francisco lost a lot of filler last year. They didn't lose A-list players, unless you consider Deebo Samuel an A-list player, but he wasn't playing at an A-list level in 2024. So the 49ers, well, they let a lot of guys walk, but again, this goes back to how we covered the entire offseason. There was a big-time focus on keeping the A-list pillars and then filling in on a more cost-controlled basis at the B-list levels of this roster, which allowed the 49ers to get younger, allowed them, at least in theory, to get hungrier, and at least in theory, to get healthier for this 2025 season. We are at the foot of Charles Bridge, one of the oldest bridges in the world, at least oldest standing bridges in the world here in Prague. Boat about to cross underneath it, a bunch of tourists on top of it. I found a quiet spot here with a view of the National Theater with its gold roof in the distance to talk about some of the reasons for the optimism coming from Aaron Schatz and FTN Fantasy. Go check out the almanac regarding the 49ers projection in 2025. This is a staggering stat. Brock Purdy, Brandon Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, and Trent Williams were only on the field simultaneously for 57 snaps in 2024. Obviously no more Deebo on the 49ers, but I think that it's safe to say the 49ers hope that that core of players is on the field way, way more often than just 57 snaps this coming season. Now, this right here is also crazy. The 49ers let the defense atrophy over the course of several seasons. The Trey Lance trade cost the 49ers a whole heck of a lot of draft capital. Didn't have first-round picks for a few years there. They only drafted 4 defenders over the first 3 rounds of the draft from 2021 to 2024. They drafted 4 defenders in the first 3 rounds alone in 2025. There should be immediate positive impacts on the defense, which wasn't good last year. The run defense, we've talked about that so much, has truly taken a big step back, near the worst in the league in 2024. But there should be immediate dividends paid by the infusion of talent, especially talent focused on stopping the run, which I think is of utmost importance. Those dividends should come in because of what the 49ers did in the draft. A few other numbers here when you look at offense and who the 49ers were missing last year. Trent Williams, Williams for much of this season, when he was on the field, the 49ers DVOA, defense adjusted value over average, this is something that Aaron Schatz and his guys invented, and it's a good measure, good advanced measure of performance. The 49ers offense performed 15% above average in terms of DVOA with Trent Williams on the field, and only 3.4% above average with him off of it. So if you get health from Trent Williams, then you're a lot more likely to be a significantly above average offense if you're the 49ers. The 49ers in 2023 had the #1 first down run efficiency in football. In 2024, that dropped to number 20. You would assume with Trent Williams and Christian McCaffrey back out there, you're going to be closer to number 1 than you are to number 20, and that impacts everything else, including YAC, where the 49ers had year over year been number 1 in yards after the catch. They were down at number 13 in yards after the catch, and we know how important that is for the 49ers to set up, and I think that the run game, setting things up, spacing the defense out, playing the game downhill on your terms will help the 49ers a lot. Defensively speaking, the 49ers actually led the league in defensive DVOA when they got pressure last year. The problem is they didn't get pressure enough. They ranked number 23 in pressure rate. So this is why Bryce Huff is around now. This is why they went and they drafted 5 defensive players for the first time since 1981 on that side of the ball. And this is why they need to stop the run, because you can then rush downhill, good down and distance. You're putting opponents in 2nd and 8 and 3rd and 6 instead of 2nd and 5 and 3rd and 2. That's when you start getting pressure. That's when the 49ers, who were good at pass defense when pressure was administered last year, that's when this defense can start to deliver the results that it needs to deliver. The 49ers delivered pressure on only 22% of snaps last year when Nick Bosa didn't administer pressure. That would have been the worst in the league. That means Bosa needs the Robin to his Batman. And the 49ers think they might have that, not only with Bryce Huff, but Michael Williams, other players that they've drafted. Of course, the back end can help in that effort as well by locking down coverage. We'll see what Nick Martin can do at the linebacker level. We'll see how they figure out that cornerback situation as well. But there's a reason why FTN Fantasy thinks the 49ers will win over 11 games. They look at what I just went through. The offense was still good last year, and the offense can take it up to an elite level with McCaffrey and Trent Williams, players like that back. We'll see on Brandon Ayuk. Maybe he's back week 5. I think that's most likely. Offense will be fine. Just make the defense passable. They were terrible last year. You've brought back Robert Saleh. You've invested a lot in modernizing the defense because last year's model failed the 49ers. As long as the defense is average, and of course they have Grant Boyer, special teams, 49ers. Special teams was hurt in many ways. They were bad last year, plus the hidden points against them didn't work out. This is a crazy stat. 49ers only saw 1 missed field goal from an opposing kicker last year, all year, and they missed plenty on their side, right, with Jake Moody. This could qualify as a Moody 49ers update with this weather. It was Brandon Bass who missed in the snow, Buffalo's kicker. I don't think that's going to repeat itself, right? So the 49ers, as long as this offense gets back to some kind of health, I think by default, the defense and the special teams should be a little bit better. You say this is an easier schedule for San Francisco. Well, that's why they are projected for those 11.2 wins, which would be the #1 seed in the entire NFC. How about that for the 49ers in 2025? Anyway, food from this beautiful city of Prague. There was this, the ultimate comfort food, Czech fried cheese. They call it smažený sír. Think about a mozzarella stick, except probably 100 times better. It's supposed to stretch a little bit, but not all too much. Then you take this, you dip it in the tartar sauce, and these are boiled potatoes. It's actually a really good addition to it. And trust me when you eat it. And one thing about Prague, you have the fried cheese, which was very popular in the communist era when there was so many shortages and you couldn't eat the way that you do now. But the dining scene here has absolutely exploded. Maybe most notably tracked and most accessibly tracked through burgers. This place, Burger Man, absolutely awesome. We thought that this might have been the best burger that we've ever eaten. And I had the double cheeseburger. Margot had something with goat cheese on it. It was awesome. Eggs Benedict are on point in Prague. Marthy's Cafe is going to get the shout out. But the ultimate shout out has to go to this place on Nerudova Street, Nerudova 211. That's the address of it on the way up to the castle. Turkish eggs. I owe you an apology. I was not familiar with your game. Turkish eggs with the yogurt and the eggs. Oh my goodness. Garlic. Unbelievable. Also had all you can eat beef at the Brazilian steakhouse. And of course, if you're hungry late at night, the Turkish food, the specialty kebabs have made their way across all of Europe. That's kind of what you have to have after the bar here. But don't forget, don't sleep on Czech fried cheese. It is one of the older foods here. It might be simple, might not have, you know, the flash of all this gourmet stuff that they seem to be serving in all these hipster neighborhoods. But Czech fried cheese goes well with the meat and potatoes of this land as well. That's the meat and potatoes of the 2025 49ers projection. 11.2 wins. What do you guys think? Hey, make sure you hit that notification bell. Even if you're subscribed, hit the notification bell if you liked all these updates from Prague.